Tron Ares is finally here. It is the third installment into the franchise. I went to go see it. Let's get into it. Before we get into the review, if you guys haven't checked out our Tron video where we break down the grid and everything, go check it out. It was a lot of fun to make it. Don't miss out. And also, we're going to be splitting this up into two parts. So we're going to be doing part one, which is spoiler free, and then we're going to go into spoiler filled. So if you want to go straight to spoilers, go to the timestamp in the video. So without further ado, let's get into spoiler free. The movie had a lot of ups and unfortunately some downs. The ups were the music, the VFX, the practicality of these effects genuinely blew my mind. Nine Inch Nails really rose to the occasion, having to fill the shoes of Daft Punk for the movie, and their music was really good. I found myself, kind of rocking with the rhythm a little bit, and honestly, the soundtrack's not that bad. The visual effects, I think, were really stunning. Every time we were in the grid, I was truly in awe. It's a very beautiful image, and especially the practical effects in the real world. We saw the behind the scenes stuff when they were making it. It's very impressive. Jared Leto, believe it or not, did surprise me at moments. He wasn't so robotic, even though he is truly the best actor for this role because people do think he is AI. Greta Lee, that poor girl's back must be hurting from carrying this film because I thought she was really great in this movie. Is this her best? Absolutely not. But did she really help this movie carry a lot of the emotional stuff and really just progressed a lot? Absolutely. Greta really just, like I said, carried it. Evan Peters as Julian Dillinger was really good as well. I thought he, as another Dillinger member, was very interesting. I do hope we get to see more of him. Jodie Turner-Smith as Athena, I really did like her. I wanted to see a lot more of Athena. I do not think they did Athena right in this movie because the limited screen time that she had in this movie, it was so little. And of course, the great cameo of Jeff Bridges, which was apparently supposed to be a surprise when this movie was coming out, and he accidentally spoiled it. But it's good to see him in that moment between him and Ares was really touching in a lot of ways. But Bridges has that charm. It's the dude. The action sequences are really fun. I do think the creativity of using the grid in a very unique way where we're kind of switching perspectives, that was very, cool. But unfortunately, I do feel like there was so much of something that was going to be built to something more, and it just never reached it. Not to say the movie was not enjoyable. I really had a good time watching this, but it was something I thought would continue and expand the idea of Tron. And it did in a way, and it's very much setting up another movie or two, but I really was hoping to also get in itself a complete story, and I don't feel like this is that. Again, this movie was enjoyable. I found myself enjoying a lot of this movie, but at the same time, I felt like we were building up to something, and then it would just kind of stop. Jared Leto being a part of this movie did raise a lot of eyebrows and rose a lot of questions, which is fair, but believe it or not, it's not his worst role and it's not his greatest. It's a good, I'd say, middle ground. If you have three tiers of Leto, you got Dallas Buyers, you got Morbius, and now we have Tron. But saying all of this really does pain my heart because I'm a big fan of this franchise. So much so, I'm wearing the shirt from the 40th anniversary when I was working at Disney World. So having this movie be like the first installment into a bigger story and it being a visual candy, but it having a bitter taste is not what I was wanting. If you did enjoy this movie, I'm really happy that you did. I had a very fun time in the theaters, but it wasn't to the level of what Legacy is. Because if you look back at what Legacy, it's very character driven inside the world of Tron. We have Jeff Bridges' part where he's trying to battle Clue and not get him on the outside, and Sam trying to connect with his father, and even Cora, who is trying to experience what it's like being human. And I feel like this movie wanted to push that a little further, and it did with no end in sight of where the reason why. The reward didn't feel rewarding, if that makes sense. But again, I really can't do much else without going into spoiler territory, so I think we move on there. So as always, this is your spoiler warning.
I hate it when someone gives away the ending.
I can't say for sure anything.
Oh, no. I'm reading the books.
But I can say nothing.
To put it in a phrase, this movie is a fun disappointment. A fun disappointment because, like I said, spoiler free, I was expecting this to expand the idea of Tron instead of just kind of reword the last 14 years and give us a response to it. As in the movie, Julian Dillinger is trying to create these programs into our world, having the grid come to our world as we saw in the trailer. But the problem is that they're experiencing that the programs can't really be humanized for more than half an hour without, this certain code that's kind of like the MacGuffin of the movie. And I feel like when we get to that point where Ares does become human, it didn't feel like it was supposed to be this moving moment. I'm not kidding. He comes back to the real world and then he's just stop. And I get it, Jared Leto is robotic, like in our world, like humanity wise, but I just feel like the moment after he meets, you know, Kevin Flynn's ghost in the old grid, which was really a great moment. Probably one of my favorite moments was going back to the grid from the very first movie and seeing the old moments kind of relived, like the game grid, the bit. I just kind of feel like in the world of what this movie was, Julian Dillinger would have essentially gotten what he wanted, but then where do we go next? Because I understand in the post-credit, there's this big moment. I'm not going to spoil everything. You know, it's a cool moment. I just feel like, though, it didn't have the fear or the shock I was really hoping. Because when we get to this part in the movie where the grid is in our world, I feel like everybody was not overreacting. Like, everybody kind of felt like this was like sudden traffic, if this makes sense. Like the attitude you have when you're going down the highway and you're kind of moving and you get stuck in traffic, you're kind of like frustrated, but not mad or shocked. That's kind of how everyone was reacting to the people from another digital world just interrupting traffic with these red laser things. So I don't know, I just kind of feel like the shock of the grid coming into our world was not met with what I thought the reaction would have been. That reaction was kind of met when a giant recognizer was flying through. But like I said, I feel like there were a lot of pieces missing. But again, the visual effects, the music, a lot of people's acting in this movie was really good. Again, like I stated in spoiler free, Greta Lee, I hope your back is okay. Rest well. You're carried this movie far enough. I do hope that if this is continuing to a fourth or even fifth movie, that they actually do have a clear goal as to what ARES and everything that was kind of teased with Dillinger and everything else, which again, I'm not going to try and spoil it for. I know I'm talking in spoilers. You know, there's some good in getting actual, you know, shocking moments in a movie when you go see it. Well, I don't want to take that from you. But again, I just feel like this is a fun disappointment because it's the world of Tron and every moment in the grid was beautiful. The visual effects and the practicality blended so well together and it was truly eye-opening with the music. It was really well done. But then when we get into the humanity side of things, the other half of what this grid coin is, I kind of felt nothing. A fun disappointment for a person that's been a really big fan of this franchise for 15, 16 years, and really do hope to see where this builds to. So for everybody involved, congratulations, you made a movie, it is out, but I really do hope we get some respect on Tron's name and build a franchise from this that we can start seeing more in the parks or just individual products. That's enough ranting for me. I think I've said enough. If you guys have seen the movie, let me know in the comments below what you thought about it. If you have a favorite song from it or if you have a favorite moment, let me know. And like I said in the very beginning, if you guys haven't checked out our Tron video where we break down the history of the grid from the very first movie to even the secret short film and the Blu-ray disc, check it out. Be sure to like and subscribe and check us out on TikTok and Instagram where we post daily updates on what's going on in Hollywood and all things you should be excited for. And also be sure to keep an eye out on our podcast. It is the Halloween season, so y'all know we have our Halloween episode coming out very soon. Or if this is in the future and you're watching this video from the past, it's probably out now. Season 4 episodes are currently on the channel here. All episodes are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We also have a playlist here. And if you want to check out some episodes in multiple videos, go check out our shorts episodes playlist right here on our channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.